Hi and a very warm welcome to ETRetail. Today we are here to have a trialogue on how fashion brands can weave profitability in their business. We are having this trialogue specially for our event which is going to happen in Delhi on October 5th. You must be wondering which event is this. This is Fashion and Apparel Innovation Summit. So before we start, let me introduce you to our esteemed guest today. We have with us Akhil Jain, who is the ED of Madame Fashions. And we have with us Deepak Aggarwal, who is the founder of KAZO Fashions. A very warm welcome to both of you today.
Thank you so much, Charu.
As we all know that fashion and profitability are the major concerns which have been there in the macro environment from a very long time, owing to many macroeconomic changes which are happening around. So basically, I want to know from both of you, what things should fashion retailers keep in their mind to ensure the profitability of their business? So we start with you, Akhil, first.
Yeah, thanks, Charu. Though I will tell you, we are in the best of the businesses, ever evolving, ever innovative, new customer being added every now and then. Probably in this time of unpredictability, I always say agility is a beautiful word that can be, plugged into the industry acumen, and which helps you to deliver over and above the top lines and profitability. Probably in this unpredictable times, the biggest challenge as the industry faces is the amount of inventory that keep holding on because of the unpredictability.
Yeah.
I guess Deepak would.
Yeah, I agree. Means that is for sure the case. Of course, your inventory management is very, very big task today, and looking in this unpredictability situation, right? So you of course see this is what we are sitting on this side of the table who really needs to generate new articles, new innovation for the clients to come in, right? So means the people who are walking into the store, they just expect it to be innovative each time, and they don't care about what is on the back end going on. So that is where the profitability situation comes in, right? So I think we still need to be very cautious about all the steps of how we are buying, how much we are buying, and what should be the depth versus options and all this stuff. So there should be a great mathematics behind that, because I think this is the new thought process which has to come in, that maybe we have to buy more frequently and maybe in a lesser depth, because that's what can improve the profitability one way. Because at the moment the fashion is becoming more and more demanding. Everybody demands more. All this Gen Z and all, they're knowing things so fast. Means the social, digital all around is actually everybody wants it before it comes to anybody else. That's the challenge. So I do think that the profitability still needs to be taken care of by creating a proper equation between the inventory and the options and the depth.
So when we talk about the Gen Zs, we have seen that fast fashion is what they prefer and they love to buy. They have been buying fast fashion like anything. The trends are changing every now and then. So how do you think, what is the right way for the fashion retailer to go ahead, slow fashion or fast fashion?
See, I tell you, the industry has evolved, and so has the brands in themselves. So, having a very right focus on the consumers actually helped a lot of brands to actually see, what the customer actually wants and in what durations. So, this use of technology to create data analytics has really been a boon to people like us. And as India as a retail industry evolves in India, so things are changing.
Would you like to add something to it?
Yeah, I would say that they are for sure expecting that the fashion is to be absolutely up to the level. But the point is, slow fashion and the fast fashion when you talk about, I think it has to be a blend of both. Because when you say slow fashion, I would say slow fashion would be always something which have been always evergreen kind of stuff, which has always been expected and been always been accepted by the customer, right? So that would be coming, according to me, into the slow fashion, where we have to create them a newer version of slow fashion into a fast fashion. So I would say that's the mantra, that you have to bring the slow and fast together at the same time.
No, I would beg to differ in this from a brand perspective, because it is the DNA of the brand, as we were discussing before as well. So DNA of the brand, and if your DNA is about being fast fashion and on trends and very close to the runways, you cannot afford to go slower, because what happens when you go from a fast fashion or slow fashion brand, you also change the target consumer that you are catering to. So when you're talking about addressing the Gen Zs and the alphas coming forward, so and if you become too slow fashion, so we'll have the last share of the millennials as of now.
So, but don't you think fast fashion can impact the profitability of the business, because you have to churn the new patterns, new styles, like within a blink of an eye, because every 15 days, these days the inventory is changing at the stores.
Correct, absolutely true. And this is this is the beauty about being fast fashion, wherein we are always been able to do higher gross margins because of being in this particular trade. But then
I think what he's trying to say, and what he's saying, that of course there is a challenge for sure. There would always be a challenge, because I think that's the business we are into, right? Because the women basically today, means if you talk about women's and men's, that means women's are for sure not very much always going to be very loyal to the brand. They just want to be loyal to what is the product right now, right? Men's could be more loyal, right? So to the brand.
Always,
so
always.
So there the challenge comes in, right? But when I was interpreting slow to fast, is that it's all about how you predict, again, brand to brand strategy, right? That it's very important that they want, of course, the latest trends, no doubt about it, right? But it has to be also the slow converted into fast with the latest adoption of trends into the slow. So I don't know if I'm able to say what I mean to say. So it's a little bit complicated.
Yeah. So as I told before also, agility is one thing that that's going to change everything. So probably once as the brands evolved, so everybody went into more quantity per option or more quantity per style. And off lately what's happening is people are again the brands are again trying to squeeze their depths and work more on the offerings that's for the customer. And because of this the social media and the influencer community, all of a sudden anything can become a trend very soon. And in case if we are stuck up with the supply chain, we'll never be able to capitalize on those trends. So the only possibility and the only way to survive and evolve in this trade is to bring in that agility and get as close to the trend and season as possible.
So I believe technology has actually helped the fashion brands to be agile in that sense.
Yeah, they made us more competitive now.
Yeah, I mean, yes, of course, technology plays a big role, especially you see today we talk about AI and all this stuff. We can't ignore it. It's a big part of the game, and it is. I think as and when the business is growing, the technology, of course, plays a very big role simultaneously. Without technology, of course, you cannot grow. And of course, if you adopt the technology in the right way, definitely it helps in your profitability also. Well, I think so, for sure.
So when you say technology, we cannot ignore the digitizing of supply chains. You think digitizing the supply chains can prove to be a boon for the fashion brands? And if yes, how?
Well, digitalization of the supply chain is a very broader subject, right? It depends upon which part of digitalization of supply chain we are talking about. Supply chain itself is already digitalized to a great extent, right? But digitalizing to the end-to-end product means, of course, one is that when we are talking about digitalization of supply chain is mostly what I understand is people talk about mostly to the online part of it, right, to deliver online. So I think the brands like us, we are for sure still today dominated by offline. So offline is really the main part of the business, right? Online is not the part of the business where we can think about driving profitability. When it comes to profitability, it has to be offline. Online has big challenges, right? All this returns and all this stuff is a big issue with the online, and especially after this, during the COVID thing and all, online has become a little bit of a rat race, I would say.
So
but somehow as a consumer, I feel if it's an omni-channel brand, it's a boon for me. I can buy it from anywhere, get it exchanged anywhere, or maybe return it easily if it's not fitting me. If I don't have the time to go to the store, I can order something that comes to my place if I order online.
See, I would say this omni-channel, we've been talking about this omni-channel for a while, To be honest, each seminar I go, they talk about omnichannel, their big digitalization channel, phygital channel, blah blah blah. But you know, India is still not there, to be very honest, because of the psyche of Indian consumer, right? If you talk about Europe or anywhere else, there this omnichannel still works. I think here omnichannel is not the right thing to be. I think making the things go the way we all think. Because see, the malls are involved here, the deals in the malls are very different compared to Europe and all. So if you are selling it from omnichannel, you're already, if you're on the marketplace, right, you're already giving the commissions to the marketplace, and then the mall is also coming in between. It will never make any business sense. And then the returns, to handle the returns would be another issue. Then where it was sold from this store and it should be handled at this store, okay, all this digitalization can help, but still it becomes too complicated. So if you see that amount of business and the flexibility you bring into the business with this omni-channel, is it really going to be, it's just maybe a convenience you're trying to give it to the consumer, but in the end I think it's not a very good business for the brands.
See, endless aisle, is for sure the future going forward. But while a lot of Indian population still is not working, and they are, primarily homemakers or taking care of families, so still they have the disposable time in their homes to go out. And in India, shopping is also a social activity. It is just not need based, as Deepak said. So it's very different for India as of now. But yes, going forward, because as a fast fashion brand, as somebody who wants to reach the consumer, access the consumer, so obviously this omni-channel or endless aisle concept cannot be negated, and will surely hold forth when the new customers. See what's happening now with the Gen Zs and Alphas. The discovery is happening digitally. It's not happening on the stores. So even if I take another example of going out of this industry and going to restaurants, so my children could decide what to eat and where to eat because they're discovering everything online.
So Bharat is where the penetration is yet to happen. India is already doing the omnichannel, which we can say that.
Yeah, that's the correct terminology to use. Yes, the Bharat is evolving and India has evolved.
Yeah, true. And I think also this omnichannel stuff is something we can use the omnichannel, but to use the omnichannel in a certain segment, in a certain way, not fully omnichannel wise, like, because there are different definition of how you want to create the omnichannel. But omnichannel, the visibility of the via omnichannel could be a very good idea. It's a great idea. But maybe sale points, return points, and this flexibility may not be a very good idea. So I think it's how the brand wants to use it according to the consumer around you. So
tell me, how can brands improve their sales?
See, brands will improve their sales. Means if you talk about improving the sales in the same store, it's a different challenge. If increasing the sale by opening more point of sales is a different challenge, right? So of course there are several ways of increasing the sales. Of course, in changing the screen, the sale first increase the more options of what you're bringing, or give the more offerings, open more stores, do the target marketing correctly, right? And then of course also maybe giving them more service orientation, that okay, what can we do, like for example small service that when they're coming in, if the consumer who's coming in and your staff over there, the FCs, if they really know the consumer very well, so they quickly understand and they try to make better interaction and giving them the offerings which they know they will buy it. So of course that services, if the people who are in KAZO is offering the service are mature and old enough to understand the consumer, and they've been trained well, so I think that will really help.
I will take the cue of the average order value, as we say that the only way to increase sales today in the competitive environment, when we have a few of the Indian brands and a lot of international brands vouching on the Indian market to take a share of the complete pie. So increasing your average order value is probably one of the most key performance indicators to see that the brands grow on sales. Like to like sales are there, as Deepak rightly said, that you can always add point of sales and expand, and you'll always have a top line growth. But what about like to like sales growth? As we are talking about profitability, the only like to like growth will only bring in profitability for any brand or the company.
So I just want to understand, increasing the average order value or maybe the sales. can also result in increasing the profitability for any fashion brands?
True. I'll just take it first. So the cost of a customer acquisition is way higher than a cost of retaining a customer. So if you look at those metrics, so obviously with your as a customer like you returning back to my store and probably you buying more from me will always give me any upper edge over the profitability that I have.
Yeah, I think yes, that is one point of view, and then other point of view is average. If you increase it automatically, GP will increase automatically. That's a very simple thing is in any business, right? So that will definitely impact the profitability. But I think in the end, what I can say, the bottom line for increasing the profitability, it would be speed. I think speed is going to play a very big role. Very especially when you say that right now as international players are coming in, I think we have a better edge over them as we are here and we know the fashion and we can take the decisions faster and we can also bring the idea to the shop. Could be very fast journey. If this journey is as shortened as we can do this journey, I think it will easily give an impact on the sell-throughs.
So when we have to shorten the journey, I mean logistics play a very important role in
Sure.
that thing. So how can fashion brands cut down on their logistic cost so that they can increase their profitability?
Well, I think one could be that there is this model of you call this warehouses, the black warehouses or what, right? So that you have to have more dark stores. So you have to have this dark stores overall. Create a store in the region which can have this concept of dark store, so you can be having more access, because India, of course, the logistic is for sure very dynamic, and all not the cities have all the airports still, right? So there is for sure a challenge, right? So I think dark store can be one big thing which we can talk about, and making a region itself by buying for the regions would of course help us to be more catering the needs for a particular consumer for a particular region.
So for a company like us who does a lot of global sourcing as well, so what we have actually now trying to go is create more vendor base out of this very country, so that we are able to manage the logistics way faster, and especially the way the unpredictability is happening, maybe it COVID or maybe competition and the rising dollar prices. It's also changing the environment very fast, because even if you book at something at X dollar today and tomorrow the dollar changes, so you end up getting a higher COGS over what you are sourcing. So developing your vendor base within the country, and especially with this Make India concept of the current government, it's a boon to the Indian brands, Indian companies to lower their to faster their logistics and also lower your COGS.
So given the macroeconomics environment that is, changing around, how do you think, if I ask the direct question, how are you bringing profitability into your business?
See, first, if you are doing global sourcing, it's always a challenge because of the unpredictability of the changing forex prices. Yes, if you're sourcing out of India, and for companies like us who are vertically integrated companies who do the bulk of manufacturing ourselves, we at this moment, we feel that we are in a stage of advantage than a lot of people who does just FOBs.
Yeah, I agree, because that is for sure a big advantage if you're backward integrated, and you can have a much better control on your deliveries, or much better control on your requirements. So that will definitely help to increase the profitability, no doubt about it. And also I would say compared to other brands across international brands and homegrown brands, is that the decisions which we are taking here is definitely much faster, and that will definitely lead to increase of profitability.
And obviously the more we sell out will always lead to a better profitability. What's happening off lately because of this fast fashion thing and because of this changing consumer preferences, retailers are having slightly more inventory than they used to have, and that's also eating away a lot of margins, though the discounts are being offered, but that's against racked up prices. So the actual thing, that actual price is very different than our notional price today.
And I think one very big point I think we just missed out in the whole thing is also scalability. I think scalability is a very big thing which will definitely lead to better margins and profitability, because a lot of resources remains the same, and if you increase the scalability of the business and opening more stores, and this will automatically give you ASP also, everything has to be higher.
So what I can conclude is agility. The brand has to be agile. Then they should be improved. They should be able to have dark stores and improve the logistic cost. Apart from that, they should turn their inventory at a very fast pace.
Right.
And if I'm missing upon something while concluding it, you can add to it.
Yeah. So we
Using the scale.
so we missed out on digitization in the supply chain, and we know where the automotive industry is probably is not the fastest one to adopt technology, because a lot of solutions like a PLM or 3D softwares are available, wherein for example, if it takes us today about say 90 days to design a new collection, so using those tools we can probably design the collection even in 40 days or close to season collections or flash collections as we call it. So those can be done today. A lot of investment happens on procuring the fabric and then creating garments out of it, then doing a lot of display and then rejecting a lot of garments. Probably if as an industry we are able to adapt more to those digital technologies that are available, so our lead time will go down even on those, and the R&D can be put to better use.
So technology is going to be a big enabler in the fashion space going ahead.
Yeah, of course, technology will be. As I told you previously also, technology goes hand in hand. It has a simultaneous growth plan. If you want to grow, the technology will also grow along with you. Otherwise, you cannot grow accordingly, because that's how it works.
And the data analytics, which again our industry is slightly far behind because of the kind of varied transactions that we have. So this data analytics, once that data analytics gets very sorted in CRM or how your consumer is behaving, then it also gives you a very different edge. A lot of international brands are actually are ahead of the times because of that. The analytics is too strong.
Yeah,
they know their consumer better than us.
Digitalizing against technology, right? So it's technology. So how you are using the technology, and because technology is to be used in each and every area. Each and every area. You talk about, let's just take it about supply chain, you talk about analytics, you talk about what to buy, how much to buy, you talk about where to ship, which stores are the performing stores, which stores to be given priority. So I think all needs to be.
Yeah, tech has become
together.
the backbone of the scalability.
Correct.
That is true. But now what next is how the brands will start, which brands explains which story, how is what's going to change.
Yeah. Of course, the brand experience, of course, is a big concern. So that is again going to add to your profitability, as every customer has so many choices now. Everybody have choices, right? So you have to be, of course, the preferred choice, and to be the preferred choice, you have to give an experience. That's how it works.
So if you are listening to this discussion and making a note of what all is needed to build a profitable brand, then you are on the right path. Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you to our esteemed panelists to be a part of this discussion and sharing with us the most knowledgeable things with us today.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Charu.
you so much. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again with more such discussions. Till then, bye-bye.